what if the company did not give me a car?
Okay.
I did not take their car.
Okay.
But I have my own car that I
yes.
drive from and to work and everything.
Yeah.
And I actually use that car for business.
Yeah, it's much more simple.
What is it? Tell me about it.
Yeah, so there's CRA mileage rates that are set out, and you would take those mileage rates. I think it's 71 cents for the
72.
first 72 cents for the first 5,000 kilometers that you drive for a business, and then 66 cents for afterwards, right? So you would take your total business kilometers, multiply by those rates, and the company would reimburse you that, and that would not be taxable to you.
So not taxable. Isn't that a better deal?
Yeah, it's
to me. I think I buy the car, I'm responsible for it. I don't have to keep, I guess, a huge logbook.
The only benefit, if you're an owner manager, right, you would have to.
You need a logbook. No matter
not
what.
even that. I'm saying that, like, if you buy a car personally, you're buying that with after personal tax dollars.
But that's happening anyways for anybody.
It is happening anyway. So if you already have those, like, for some individuals, they could use your corporate funds, right?
Yeah.
And not pay personal tax on it and to go buy that vehicle.
It's such an interesting conversation then, right? Like, I mean, most people, even if you had, let's say, a car to buy for $100,000, and you had $100,000 in your bank account, like, I don't need this money, I could buy a car.
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole time value of money comes into place. Like, well, if I finance the car, or lease the car, my interest rate is X.
Yeah.
But I can take that money and like invest it elsewhere. Like this.
Yeah.
Such financial question.
If you have cheap financing, then you don't want to take your $100,000 that's sitting there and just buy a car.
Yeah. But most people would finance it.
You have to make up for that.
Yeah, I think most people would try to finance it and then figure out how to expense some of the interest if they can. But I find
that's true, because the corporation will get an interest deduction.
But I'll give you an example. I know I have a client who's a dentist.
Yeah.
Okay. He drives like Toyota SUV or something, RAV4. And he is interesting character his situation is really interesting. So he had the same question: should I buy the car in a company or should I buy the car in like personally and finance, lease? And what we came to be is that in his specific scenario, he was working in a clinic. He was working in multiple clinics. So he would go from Brampton Clinic, Mississauga Clinic. He would go to like some random small town, like, in Muskoka. He would go to some random clinic. So his business
kilometers really
were
added
really
up.
high, really high.
Yeah.
Like he would be driving 2 hours each way.
Yeah.
And out in the boonies, and then he would like drive back and forth. So he would drive an hour and a half to 2 hours each way and come back the same day because you also get paid more because in the small towns there's not enough like dentists. So you would actually make more money, right? So he was like, okay, I can do, this is my thing. I can do this. Yeah. So the last like several years, that's all he's done. And every year he gives me his logbook and we're like, yep, you drove like 20,000 kilometers just for business.
Yeah.
Let's give you 72 cents on the first 5,000, 66 cents on the next anything over $5,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
And he takes like about, like $15,000 out of the company tax free.
Yeah.
And no income inclusion.
The mileage rates are pretty high for sure. Well,
he's driving a lot, but then he didn't have to deal with, but then he does that consistently. He's had that RAV4 for like 8 years.
Yeah.
And then for 8 years, he's been taking $15,000+ from the company as a reimbursement on an annual basis. Yeah. Like that worked out much better than somebody.
And then you don't have to deal with all the complications of the standby charge calculations, the T4 slip, paying your accountant.
Just keep a log of, he can just very easily keep a log of like which clinic was he in at what time.
It's a much more simple approach.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, it might be the better approach. I completely agree.
Yeah.
But you really need to figure out, if you're driving that much for business, the alternative is that you do get your deductions for your repair costs and like anything that come up in the company, right?
Yeah. But I think in that case, like if you have such a high mileage for business, maybe it's not a bad idea to like model it out on Excel and see what the taxable benefit would be if you were to actually buy a company vehicle and use it. Because I think by doing the whole calculation, because the calculations, the personal use is so small proportionately, your income inclusion might not be very much.
Yeah, I think we both agree that if you're not driving much for business, especially below 50%, then you should not be putting your car in the company, to their company.
Yeah.
Even maybe if it's 60% or 70% for business, the standby charge may not be being reduced enough for it not to make sense.
Yeah, so I think you should probably just calculate, and that's it.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
Yeah.